Hi everyone, this is Professor Lane and I wanted to review with you the case study analysis and presentation assignment. So the first thing that you're probably wondering is where's my team? All right, so I'm going to pop in here to a student view, and that way you can see where you're going to locate this information. I have not organized the groups yet, but this is where you're going to find them. You're going to go to the People tab, and there's going to be a tab either called Group or Case Study, and you're going to click on that tab right here. There will be a list of all of the case studies, and you can click in there to see your case study, which you've been assigned to, as well as your teammates, all right, your partners for the actual project. But I want to go back to the module and just quickly go through some of these items with you. All right, so for some reason it's thinking this has not been released and it says it's locked. Hang on real quick. I'm just going to pause this, come back, and I'll unlock this. Okay, so instead of unlocking the module, I realized that I do have a prerequisite, which is why I'm not able to view this from a student view. So we're just going to take a look at this from the instructor view. It's almost identical. All right, so our first page, we're going to step by this page by page. Okay, so here is just an overview of all the items that we're going to see within this particular module. We'll hit the next button, and this is the case study analysis. This goes through and explains to you why we are doing this case study analysis. So throughout the semester, you have been listening to different podcasts about how technology solves human problems. You are then going to be assigned a case study, and then you're going to dive deeper, all right? And you're going to get some additional information. So what I've done is I've broken it down into 4 pieces to make it much more manageable for you. And so our first piece is collecting our resources, right? So you're going to have a tech company, and you're going to find reputable sources for various items, and we'll take a look at that when we click on the actual tab. You're then going to create a timeline, and I don't want you stealing one off the internet. I want you to actually build it. So if someone within the team has expertise in that and would like to volunteer, by all means, that would be wonderful. But share the responsibility as well. Once you've completed that, we're then going to build an outline, and this is going to look at each segment of the presentation, and will prepare you for the final piece, which is the actual presentation where you're going to build a PowerPoint slide. Now, after each milestone, I'm asking each of you to complete a contribution log, which simply states, what did I do to help my team for this piece of the project? All right, so that's what I want to know for each of these. At the very end, then you're going to do a self-analysis on the overall experience. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and click Next. Here is the list of items that you could potentially be having. I'm doing a random Canvas pick, so I'm not going to deviate from that. Please do not ask me to change the groups. They are going to be what they are. All right, so it is important for us to figure that out and work with others, even sometimes when it can be very, very challenging. And so this you will find the link to the case study that you have. You will come back to this page. All right, I'm going to go ahead and we'll see the first item. What you're going to be completing, as I mentioned, is you're going to be compiling sources. And so here you're going to create a Word document, a Google Doc, preferably a Google Doc. A Word document. Please, no pages. I do not have an Apple, and I cannot open those files. So if you are on an Apple, make sure you save it with a .docx. All right, so you're going to be compiling enough information to give us an abstract, a short paragraph. You're going to be give us some facts about the entrepreneur themselves. You're going to be creating a timeline of events. This is going to be important for the next milestone. So we want to make sure that you have valid events and really good markers that show the progress for the actual technology itself. You're going to start with the launch date to present day. And it's about the technology, not about the entrepreneur, the timeline. Next, we're going to talk about how the technology helps to solve problems in our daily lives and in work. All right, so each of these case studies that we're going to be looking at, we're using technology to solve problems. As the entrepreneurs and were going through and building them, they hit roadblocks. So I want you to identify a minimum of 2 obstacles and then how these were resolved. Next, we're going to talk about what was life before we had this technology, and then what we know today using the technology. So we'll do a little comparison before technology and after technology. Let's look and see who their competition is. All right, so we can use that, and then I want to know where they are today. What's the current state? Right. So for each of these, right, you're going to give a minimum of 2 sources. Now, some of these sources can overlap, but I only want that to be applied twice. Only a minimum of 2 sources can be applied to more than one topic. All right, so keep that in mind. I want you to make sure that your sources are relevant and they're reliable, and don't take the first thing that you see. Make sure you fact check your information. All right, so when you submit your file, make sure that everyone's name is on the submission. Also give me the name of the case study. And when you're submitting anything with the group, only one member of the group needs to submit that file. All right. With all of these, you're going to see a rubric. So if we scroll on down, you're going to see how you're going to be graded for this particular, the first milestone. All right, let's take a look at the next one, which is the timeline. All right, so now for the timeline, I want you to have a minimum of 8 events relevant to the technology. So first will be the launch date. We're going to have something that's current, and then we want some events in between. All right. You can use Microsoft Word, you can use Adobe Illustrator, or any other drawing software to build a timeline. By all means, I'd like it to be creative. Make sure that you save this file as a .png, because that will make it easier for you to place that into your presentation. I have found some videos that I thought would be helpful if you need help building a timeline. The first one is using Word, as well as the second. The third is using Adobe Illustrator. As I mentioned, you can use any other tool that you would like. If you are familiar with Visio and maybe you would like to use Visio, by all means, you could use that as well. Again, remember, one team member will submit this file for the entire group. And again, you can see the criteria for grading. We then move on to milestone number 3. And this one, you are going to build an outline. All right, and so I've given you a template. All right, so as you can see in the template, we have some fake and phony text inside, and you're just going to remove that and you're going to replace it with your information. So this will give you an idea of even about the quantity of information that I am expecting. I don't want you to write pages and pages and pages. A good paragraph or 2 will suffice. All right, so hopefully this will stop spinning and you can get an idea of what the template outline looks like to get an idea. I'm actually going to just close it out and open it up again and see if that helps. You'll also notice in the background there, I have given you some links for when you do the citations, so that's going to be important that you complete those correctly. I would like them to be in the APA format. If they are way off or you're just giving me links, that's not going to cut it. I want to be able to see the actual style in APA format. And as I mentioned, you have links there that will give you some help. All right, so for some reason, this file does not want to load, and I'm just going to close that out. I'm going to just go ahead and refresh the page and see if that makes a difference. I just want to view it. I don't want to download it, which is why I'm choosing not to download, because I want us to just view this in the browser. I know if I stay here long enough, it will appear. So what I am going to do is pop on over to the case study analysis for milestone number 4. All right, and once you've completed that outline, we're then going to build the presentation. Right? So I give you a number of bullet points to adhere to, and make sure that you have a title slide, an abstract, which is going to be that 1-paragraph summary. You might need to condense it. I don't want you to do a copy and paste. You're going to have to refine that a little bit. The entrepreneur, the founder's bio, and there's that timeline where you will paste in that graphic that you created. And I want a slide telling me about the technology and how it's used to solve a problem, some of the obstacles and resolutions, life before and after the technology, some of the competitors, and where they are today. Final page being a works cited that you would get from your outline. Again, one member is going to submit this. I have the rubric down below. You can see the criteria. This one is a little more detailed, as it is worth more than the others. Let's see if we go back here. Great. Here is the milestone number 3 template. So I want to know, what is your case study? Who are your members? And again, you can see about how much information. So I'm not asking for a whole lot of information in here, right? I've given you some examples of what the APA style looks like. Okay, if you have any questions, please let me know. I hope this video, little tutorial is helpful. And again, if you have questions, please reach out and ask. And good luck, and thank you.